All right, you guys. I will be talking about a new, well, not really new, but a different type of anime that I'm sure some of you might not have watched or even read the manga. So be wary. Spoiler warning: you have been warned. All right, you guys. It is officially the year 2020. New Year's is today, and honestly, I'm not really one of those people that's extremely excited about it, but it's still just a fact. You know what I'm saying? It's really nice to know to make it to a new year. And just really experience, like I said, that I've experienced a decade and technically lived almost 2 decades, or a little over 2 decades actually. I'm almost 21. Just give me till June, baby. I'm excited though, mainly because I'm actually gonna bring up an anime that, like I said, not many people have actually really talk about, that people don't really talk about, nor have they even heard of a lot of the time. And that is, today I wanted to be talking about Magi. Now, I love Magi, the anime. I love the manga. It is a great read and it's a really great show. It has both battle, action, all that good stuff. But at the same time, it has really good political messages as well in it. Like the whole, not really messages, I guess, but it has a really huge political aspect about it that is really cool. And I just love the world of Magi. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to talk about the show itself. I'm actually going to be talking about one character in particular, and that is Sindbad. Now, throughout the show and the manga, Sindbad has been kind of constantly referred to as like this random singularity, like an anomaly, basically, because it's only he's just someone that doesn't really fit into this world, which later gets revealed on how or why that is. But the most thing I'm going to talk about today is whether or not he can actually destroy planets. And I have to go with he can. So, to bring up my first piece of information on that, it is actually the way how he can go about doing this feat is, like I said, the one thing that he does, he goes through and the world that Solomon created, the world that we know throughout the world of Magi was created. And Sinbad is basically destroying that world by returning everything about it to the real. Basically, he's absorbing all of the energy from that planet, destroying the planet in the process, returning it to absolute nothingness, and utilizing all the energy from the planet and the people inhabiting it for the sole purpose of drawing it into himself and rising above the ranks in the goddess. Now, the best example that they used it for was basically picture the world that they're living in at like the very bottom. It is like the bottom tier world. And Sinbad, like I said, is utilizing all the power from that humongous world in the first place and utilizing it on himself so that way he can rise above, break the vertical ceilings, and challenge all of the gods above him. So basically, just even if you want to say, well, Sinbad is the weakest amongst these gods in the series, it wouldn't matter because he's still destroying the world and harnessing the energy from that destroyed world. These gods are also, like I said, which would make sense because the gods are also so far above them. The higher class gods that you get to, the stronger the god is. And as Ugo said himself, like basically, the higher tier gods can basically destroy, or not destroy, but change destiny on the whim. If you don't know the way how destiny works, it's basically whoever is the god of the world is basically in control of the world and the world itself. So it can control what goes on throughout the world. That is basically how it works. And so Sinbad has to take all of the rule for the world, change destiny, control it for himself. He made everyone want to die, basically, become nothingness to become a part of him so he can actually rise up, gain power, and go amongst these higher gods that will stand even above Sinbad. Now, as I stated, the world is being turned to nothingness, as stated in the manga, and it's shown where basically Sinbad, who has his kind of reservations and kind of like wants to get rid of any regrets he has, kind of takes his time with it and sends out these guardians to constantly harvest all the roof from the world itself. The world itself also including a place known as the Dark Continent. Now, the Dark Continent is still kind of a unknown factor. Like, it's kind of explained throughout the manga, but it's really just a place from Alma Tehran that got connected to New World, which is a place so huge that it takes a human 40 years just to walk it. On top of which, 40 years being, like I said, it doesn't even take a human that long to walk around the entire earth. Like, just saying. On top of which, there's a medium, that actually was strong enough to basically tank all of the attacks from every single form of every single metal gen vessels, that just one of them, being Sindbad himself, has enough power to completely obliterate a mountain range just with casual ease. And he did that as a child before he even had a full amount of power in the first place. He just simply just, hey, I'm a child, I'm stronger than what I got, I have a full gen equip, bam, here you go. Let me show you how much power I have. And he does that quite casually. And then as he gets older and becomes an adult and stuff, he will become even more powerful. And there are people just like him in the world that will also be relative, if not some of them, such as Ren Cohen, actually rivaling him in power. And all of them had to pour every single ounce of their magic just to destroy a pour all of their magic into one extreme magic just to destroy a medium, which is nothing more than a vessel that's used to bring the god from one dimension to the next. You know what I'm saying? We see that when literally that same medium, the whole purpose of him, he's trying to bring a god known as Il-Ila down from a higher dimension. Il-Ila is essentially the god that created Alma-Taran, which is essentially, just to give him a rank, he would be basically the C rank god. He would be the god above them. What happened is Il-Ila created Alma-Taran, which Il-Ila also destroyed thanks to Arba and all of them and David. And then that same god gave his power, or rather got his power stolen by Solomon, who then created the world that we know today in the world of Magi. The best way to explain this, I guess in the simplest term, for those of you that watch Dragon Ball Super, there's a new villain in there by the name of Moro. And Moro is a very powerful entity who basically, his whole ability in the first place, he uses his magic to literally drain the power from planets. You know, so imagine how Goku uses the spirit bomb. Basically, yeah, Moro just does that everywhere. He takes energy from people, the planets, anything around him, basically. And so it's like that. So that is basically what Sindbad is also doing. He's taking all the power from the earth and everyone inhabiting the earth, returning everything to nothingness just to gain his own power. So just by that, in conclusion, like I said, it would easily mean that Sindbad could actually destroy planets. Even if you want to say that he couldn't do it in like a simple way of like attack, you know what I'm saying, like Death Star levels of destroying planet, he would definitely still be able to do it in terms of his taxability, considering he was absorbing all of the energy that created the planet itself. You know what I'm saying? It created the planet itself, and he was absorbing that just so he could become stronger and rise up and defeat certain gods, defeat that god, take that world's energy, and keep rising above and above. So, and like I said, he's clearly able to destroy planets quite easily. Like I said, Magi is a very interesting show. Like, I really recommend that anyone out there watch it. Like I said, it's definitely worth the watch. You can actually watch the first 2 seasons in the way on Netflix. And of course, you can read the manga, whatever site that you know, but I use stuff like Viz and things of that nature. So it's expensive because you have to buy it off Viz anyway, at least what I've seen. You have to buy it in actual volumes. So, which are like $6.99 a piece. So they're pretty expensive, but it's definitely worth it. It's only about 400 chapters. It's already over, but it was a really good series, and I recommend anyone watching it. Alright, you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it was a really short one, mainly because it's not really much to, like, really go over, like, in terms of, like, feats, because the Sindbad stuff didn't really take place for, like, that long entirely. It was just kind of a little brief moment in the chapter, or rather, in the few chapters of him basically going through destroying the world. And then some other situations happened, and it kind of got paused, and it resumed, and paused. Like, so it wasn't really much to go off of. It was just pretty much just explaining, like, how he's able to destroy planets, not so much necessarily proving like whether or not you can. But like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed. And since it is the new year, like I said, I will be making actually another video that will in fact be dropping today. So be on the lookout for that, you guys. Till next time, you guys. Peace.